Hello everyone, my name is Jeffery Jehing, and today the disease I will be presenting will be Salmonella. My objectives are my introduction, history, causes, transmission, health effects, prevention, demographics, treatment, experiment, conclusion, and my works cited. Salmonella is a common foodborne illness infecting the intestinal tracts of humans. The Salmonella genus is divided into Salmonella bongorii and Salmonella enterica. It is more common in the summer than in the winter. Reduction continued. Salmonella is a gram-negative motile bacilli and is more virulent and resistant to antibodies. It resides in the intestines of several animals, especially poultry and reptiles. Poultry such as chicken meat and chicken eggs, and reptiles such as bearded dragons and lizards. History. Salmonella was first discovered by Daniel E. Salmon in 1885 when he was dissecting a pig's intestines in a lab. Named the bacteria Cholerasis, but later it was renamed Salmonella in honor of Dr. Daniel E. Salmon. It was dated back to 323 BC with Alexander the Great, and it was the first recorded death due to Salmonella. But Salmonella has caused cases since the beginning of the bacterium. The earliest outbreak of Salmonella was in the 17th century in Jamestown, Virginia. It is more prevalent in third world countries, such as in Africa and Asia. Causes of Salmonella. Salmonellosis is caused by undercooked meat in contact with infected animals, contaminated water, poultry, eggs, and vegetables. Unwashed vegetables may become contaminated by feces in the soil or water they grow in. Causes continue. Salmonella is found mainly in the fecal matter of many animals in their intestines, such as pigs, cows, and livestock in general. People who visited third world countries recently, within 6 weeks, might develop salmonella due to unsanitary conditions and improper hygiene. Salmonella is unpasteurized milks and juices. Unpasteurizing basically heats up the juice or kills the bacteria inside of them, so unpasteurized milks have a higher chance of having salmonella inside of them. Salmonella is transmitted by human eating contaminated food, often of animal origin. Some animals may transmit salmonella such as reptiles and livestock. Cross-contamination of salmonella is when food that have salmonella inside of it is transferred into a food. Someone uses to cut their meat and then to cut their raw meat, and then they use that same knife and they didn't wash it to cut their vegetables. There is a chance that they might pass on the salmonella from the meat to the vegetables. When a person with salmonella on their hand touches another person, there's a chance that it will be contagious and spread to the other person. Health effects of Salmonella. Salmonella incubation period begins 12 to 72 hours after the infection. The symptoms include nausea, vomiting, severe abdominal cramps, bloody diarrhea, high fever, chills, headaches, and the illnesses may last 4 to 7 days in a regular person. Prevention of Salmonella. How to avoid Salmonella. Do not drink contaminated or eat contaminated water or food. Proper hygiene, waste management, water purification, and proper treatment of the disease when you contract the disease. Demographics. Salmonella causes more than 1.2 million cases in the U.S. alone. Diseases range from mild to severe depending on age and immune system development. Children, infants, and the elderly are more susceptible to these diseases than adults. People who are more susceptible may develop more severe disease later on, such as typhoid and meningitis, due to a weakened immune system. Treatment. Salmonella disease is simple to cure, and it usually resolves by itself within a week or two. Salmonella may require intravenous fluids and ample rest. Several antibodies work fine as well, but they are recommended for those who are severely ill. Pain relievers and fever reducers relieve the amount of pain people with salmonella endure. Experiment. My experiment was a meta-analysis of chicken, and the objective was to perform meta-analysis of diverse experiments to identify general and host-specific mechanisms to the salmonella serotypes, which is basically the genus of salmonella. Hypothesis. The hypothesis was to see what the reaction of a chicken was and how it is dependent on the amount of salmonella injected into this chicken. Experiment continued. My results were the chicken with varying susceptibility to salmonella are affected differently by a different dosage of salmonella. The significance. This experiment tested a chicken's reaction to a certain amount of salmonella virus injected into it. Scientists can analyze data and tell a sick patient how much of the salmonella they might have inside of them. Conclusion. Salmonella is a malignant disease, but deaths are really rare. The most common type is the Salmonella enterica. The disease is caused by bacteria called salmonellosis, and hopefully salmonella will one day be eradicated and none will die from salmonella. Let's keep them excited. Thank you. Any questions?
Raise your hand if you have a question for Jeffery.
Why is salmonella more common in the summer than in the winter?
This is because due to the fact that in the summer people are more likely to be outdoor and contract salmonella from the feces of animals, and also you might go out for picnics, and when you do that, it's hotter temperatures, so when you bring food outside, more likely to get infected with salmonella. Does that answer your question?
Death rate?
There's 450 deaths in the U.S. annually.
Yes.
In your experiment, you were talking about how the chickens reacted. Well, what exactly was their reaction?
This is to see how severely affected they were by salmonella.
So what is the effect on animals?
I'll have to do further research on that, but probably in severe cases will be death.
You said that one of the symptoms was bloody diarrhea, and is there a reason?
I have to do further research on that. Malignant and spinal.
How is this disease diagnosed?
Sometimes a doctor will take a stool sample of the patient and they'll test it to see if it has any salmonella in it.
Okay, you said that the disease was like the bacteria that caused it was discovered in 1855, but it's dated back to Alexander and like the beginning of this year.
Can you repeat that question?
You said that the bacteria was found in 1855, but it dates back to Alexander the Great times.
salmonella dated back, but no one actually discovered it until 1895 when a scientist dissected a pig and found the salmonella strains inside the pig. Does that answer your question?
You said there are 450 deaths annually a year. So how many people actually get the disease a year? So what percent is that 450?
Are you asking about worldwide or just the US alone?
Worldwide?
Yeah, I'll have to do further research on that.
Jazz hands for Jeffrey. All right.